So now we come to something that is quite important that I noticed a lot of you in class were not really paying a lot of attention to, and that is clarity. So when you are picking a font, definitely look for clarity. So what I mean by that are glyphs that have nice crisp endings, they will look much better. And this applies to serif fonts as much as it does to sans serifs. There's no really difference there. Straightforward 90-degree corners will look better than ambiguous shaped corners, and so on and so forth. So let's actually look at what I mean by that. So let me actually zoom out a bit. I think I'm too close. So up here I have cormorant, and as you can see, there's a nice crisp ending to the serif here, which we don't really have here. This is kind of clunky. It's Cheltenham. It's a font called Cheltenham. So if you look at the B here, we don't really have that here. And this works, obviously, this works better than this because it is crisper, it is cleaner, it has more clarity. Same goes for angles. So for example, here, this one here, one of you used this actually in her logotype, so I'm going to zoom in really close. So here we have this kind of rounded thing, but it's not really 90 degrees, is it? I mean, it's not, and it's not really rounded either. It's not, it's sort of somewhere in the middle. It's ambiguous, but then if you look here, this here is quite different from this one. So this is a little bit more rounded, but this breaks quite suddenly. But then here we have a 90-degree angle all of a sudden. And then here we have something else, and here we have something else. So we also don't have consistency of the stroke, but we also don't have the clarity. Or this, again, is a font that one of you used. So I wouldn't use this, because this here, this rounded ending, let's see, we go here, it doesn't give us enough clarity. So if you have a font that actually has a good crisp 90-degree ending, a box, then that will work much better than what we have right here, especially when you go down, 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 when it becomes smaller, because then it really starts to get blurry. It doesn't look here, we have the nice crispness here, we even have it here, but here we start getting a blur. And since your type, your text is going to be sometimes big and sometimes small, you need to think about how it's going to look when you reduce the size, in which case this rounded corner here, this rounded tip of the glyph is going to give you problems. So let's continue here, or even round ones, since they will create a blur effect, which is just what I was showing you right now, unless you use them at very large sizes. And then also look for fonts that have bigger families and that also have light, extra light, thin, and even hairline weights, since lighter weights will very often look cleaner and crisper than medium plus weight. So medium, semi-bold, bold, extra bold, black, those ones, especially with serif fonts, not so much with sans serifs, will cause you a lot of headache in terms of not being very, very clear.